played 1-1 against Burnley. I mean, yeah. I'm John here today with Aldo from Already TV and Ben as always. We're going to talk a little bit about the game today, a bit about Guehi and maybe some other stuff, see what we get into. So let's talk about you, Ant. You all right today?
Don't ask. I've had a lot going on behind closed doors, but that just topped it all off with that match, honestly. So it couldn't be any worse.
Whatever you do behind closed doors, I don't think we're going to talk about here today anyhow, so that's okay.
Thank God for that, because I'll be here all day. But yeah, other than that, I'm all right. It's just another day, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's the sad part. It's just another day. Ben, how are you today?
I was good until I realised Liverpool play. I enjoyed the week off.
I'll let them.
Yeah. If you didn't see the game at all or didn't see much of it, you didn't miss much. So
yeah, I can tell.
But I think even though you didn't watch the game, I think we have room for your Dutch ranting anyhow. So that will be welcome.
I was very much told about Gakpo's vomit-inducing stinker and Hooked today.
Okay. How about you, Aldo? You good today?
Oh, I'm all right. Yeah. Listen, I'm in the twilight of my life now, so these things don't upset me like they used to. they really don't. I mean, I was more interested when I was watching the game. I was more interested seeing how many of my former colleagues I could spot who I used to work with.
That's when you know it's gotten boring.
I still get upset from this, and it's pissing me off, to be honest. I want to talk the first half. I think we did. I think that was probably our best first half against a low block team this season. I think we had a way better pressing in the top half that made us win the ball easier and more often than we usually do. I also felt that when they got away from that press, the long ball they threw up against us were of lesser quality because of the pressure. They didn't get the time to time it and do a good job of it. So I think the first half, in my opinion, was one of the better we had against the low blocking team. So I had a semi good feeling after that one. Am I just being stupid here, Ant, or what do you think about it?
It definitely was a really good first half. Like I was sat there and I was thinking, okay, we're looking all right. We're looking like we really want it for once. We look like we actually want it. But it was near the end of the first half that I was like, okay, we're starting to slow down a bit. This isn't what we want, because normally this is where things go wrong because we're too complacent when we've got a goal ahead. So that first half I was happy about until obviously the end, and then the second half came, and it's just it blew everything out of proportion, out of the water. It was stupid.
Yeah, and I think that we did a good first half until Dom missed the penalty, and that was I have no words for that penalty.
He did not have to hit it that hard.
No,
I don't know what
the
he
penalty
was thinking.
It was like, all right, I'm just going to wing it and then hit it as hard as he could. And after that, I felt we kind of fell apart a little bit until we got the goal. So I'll just skip over you when it comes to the analysis of the game, Ben, because you didn't see it. Is that okay? So, Ola, what are your thoughts on the first half when it comes to the penalty and overall performance?
First half, I think we looked pretty decent, to be honest. We started off at a quicker pace and momentum that we have done all season. Kirkes looked really bright at the beginning. Etatike is always a threat regardless of how we're playing. And Florian Wirtz, you can tell he's world class. He's getting better the more games he plays now for us. Dominic Szoboszlai, I just think, I don't know what's going on with him at the minute. I just think he's having a bit of a mirror at the moment, because that penalty was shocking. I mean, they need to. I mean, I've heard he's not well at the minute, but I've heard a couple of things. Former player Phil Neal's not well, but then I've heard he's okay. They need to get Phil Neal down at the training ground and show Dom how to take penalties because Zico never missed. But the goal what we scored, the first touch from Wirtz and the way he got it out of his feet was absolutely sublime. And then the finish, oh my days, it was a crack. It was a cracker. Ping pong's looking lively as well. But after that, I mean, Burnley, to their credit, they deserve to be they deserve to be level because they didn't sit back. They didn't do what I expected them to do, and that was park the bus. They didn't do it. And you again, Burnley looked like the home team, and we looked like the visitors to me. You know, so and the build-up play, the momentum is way too slow, way too slow for the quality of players we've got in that squad. The build-up and the pace we play at is too slow. We're not dictating games. We're letting the opposition do it, and this is gonna become Arnie Slot's downfall and his undoing. I mean, I can't believe he brought Chiesa on with 4 minutes to go, 86th minute. He waited till 75th minute before he made any changes.
We'll come to the second half later on.
Yeah, and you were at home, and you're drawing one apiece, and you need to win the game because the people who you're challenging for the top four, City, United, Chelsea, they've won. So the pressure's on Liverpool. I think this is a bad result this weekend.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
It's a shocker.
But I can ask Ben a question there. We saw what Dom did in the Barnsley game with the so-called heel flick or whatever he was doing in front of his own goal. And now he goes on and blasts a penalty in the bar. What do you think is going through his head at the moment? Because he's been the best player we've had so far, but now it's starting to look like something's wrong somewhere. Do you have any thoughts on that, Ben?
No.
Okay, next one. You can elaborate if you want to.
This is going to be a shoot me down in flames stream, this.
All I'll say is he's been so good all season long. He's basically put the team on his back. No one can go after him now because he's had a couple of bad moments in back-to-back games. Would be in a much worse position if Sobo didn't have the season he's having.
Well, I agree on that one, but the thing he did at the Barnsley game was a very odd thing to do. I mean, one thing is having a poor game. I'm not, or off the pace or something, but it looks like decision making kind of. I don't know. It's kind of weird, in my opinion. I'm not slagging him. I'm just it. Yeah, it just.
I think the decision making's not been right throughout the squad all season.
No.
With the penalty, I think that's the first one he's missed in years as well. Like,
it's the second one in his career, yeah, because the first one was at Leipzig.
And the thing is, if you look at that first half performance, after when Burnley equalised and it was one apiece, we suddenly become far too casual. And yet again, Anthony, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but how cheaply are we giving possession away?
Very, because we like to keep hold of the ball. We don't like to release. It should be 1 or 2 touch, or maximum 3 touch. Get rid of the ball. Don't keep hold of it and start spinning with it, looking for more options. Because the more you spin, the more someone's going to get closer from behind, and then you're on pressure.
The thing what frustrates me is when you look at that. When you look at the players we've got, and you look at the quality we possess, the creativity is non-existent. It's as if.
We've got a few players there.
We're suddenly playing with the handbrake on every game.
Yeah.
But they're not being allowed to express themselves.
Now, I think the link-up play and the one-touch play around the box was a lot better today than it's been.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We had more through balls. We had more movement. But what kind of irritates me, and I can't stress this enough, I didn't find any stats on it, but you see we play on the left-hand side, no matter what. Left-hand side, left-hand side, left-hand side, in the
It's
middle.
always the same thing over and over again.
Left-hand side, in the middle, left-hand side, and then back. And you see Frimpong standing way alone over there.
Yeah.
And he got the ball a few times in the second half, so that was an improvement.
Yeah.
But I noticed the first time that he had an overlap on his side was the 95th minute.
Yeah.
When McAllister came and tried to help him. It
Yeah.
took 95 minutes for him to get any help. And 10 minutes before he got the ball, he had two defenders in front of him. And it took ages before Konate came and helped him to give him a passing behind option. And and this, I mean, one of the best things when we were at our best, we had Salah and Trent and Robbo and Mane. We had one on each side who can destroy anybody. But when you don't have two sides and only have one, either it's the left or the right one, it's so easy to predict.
Yeah, and the thing, and just to add a string to your ball there, and on what Anta's just said as well, what we're doing on the left hand side is too predictable. Well, Mr. Predictable's coming back from the AFCON shortly, so the right hand side will be predictable again when Salah starts playing.
Yeah,
because we know what Salah's going to do, because he can't beat a player now for love nor money.
No. And the only thing that may help him is that Frimpong is on that side and can have an overlap and help him.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that can maybe save him.
You might not agree with what I'm going to say here, but I need to say this because when the final whistle went, I wasn't angry, I was frustrated. But in a year and a half, Arne Slot has managed to undo 9 years of work in 18 months. That's unforgivable for me.
Definitely.
You want to say something there, Ant?
To be honest, it's more onto what Aldo's just said then. He has sort of unravelled it all, because there will be some people who say, yeah, he won it in this first season here, but he won it with somebody else's team.
Yeah.
He didn't win it with his own team, and now that he's got his own team, he doesn't know how to handle it. He doesn't know what to do. And for the past, God knows how long since the beginning of the season, I've been, let's give him more chances. Let's just wait. But if I'm honest, I don't know how long I can wait, because we're looking like a shit show. We're getting laughed at because we've gone from being one of the best teams in the league to being a laughingstock. And it's not how we should be.
And that brings me on to the second half, because the second half we start like it's just any other day. We've
already won it.
Yeah, we start slow. We don't have the pace and the movement we had in the first half were just gone by the wind. It was non-existent. We started to playing the ball, and we started to think that, well, as long as we have possession, we will look good. And of course they score on their first chance or shot on goal. And I'm not taking anything away from Burnley on the goal, because they did what we did at the first goal. They had movement, they had the through ball, they had the tempo. So I felt it was a good goal. I mean, Ali may have done a better job, but again, they had one shot on target and they score on it. And that's also an issue that we have. We can't concede any chances at all because it's a goal. And like Aldo talked about a little bit earlier, it's the substitutions. And I was screaming so hard at the TV that my wife came and told me to kind of shut up. But
don't they do that anyway?
Yeah, but it's more a power shut up now when I scream at the TV.
I'm so glad I'm sat in here on my own with the TV's out the way.
But Burnley made two substitutions in the 74th minute. We wait a few more minutes before we do our substitutions. And that is what I feel is a problem with this bald fraud, is that he's reactionary. He's not proactive. He waits to see what happens or what unfolds or whatever, You switch this and then change the formation, then I will react to that. He's always on the back foot, and he's not dictating. He's not putting the pace. He's not. I'm just so fucking sick of it. And yeah, Aldo.
Yeah, just to let you know, Westy's waiting to jump on. He's joined. Apparently, it came up.
You did
Where the hell
mention
is
he's
he?
going to be late.
I don't know where he's gone, but he came up on my laptop. Westy's has joined the stream. I don't know where he disappeared on yours.
No.
I didn't get a message, but send him a message. And
I'll send him a message now.
But I mean, the second half, it's just the crowd went flat again as well, and I'm not going to say any more other than that because I've said my piece on the Anfield atmosphere. But I mean, I just can't believe that we're playing the way we are. There's no confidence in this side. I think, and we've said it before. Ben said it. I've said it. I think Slot's lost the dressing room, and he lost it before the Man United game. And I also think internally at the club, the decision's already been made that he won't be there in the summer. But to draw with Burnley, who are second from bottom, and are fighting for their lives, fair enough. And I give taking nothing away from Burnley today. You can only beat what's in front of you.
Yeah.
But this is the first time in Liverpool's history that we've not beat the 3 promoted teams at home this season. Now that is inexcusable when you spent 400 million in the transfer window. Now you can't keep making excuses. They've been together long enough now, and I'm not a glass empty man. I'm always a glass half full. But when you look at the squad and you look at the timing of the substitutions, it's clear to me that Arne Slot only trusts 11 players. The rest
barely.
Yeah, barely. Yeah, the rest he just puts up with because he has to.
I think we saw the late substitution. I'll get to you in a minute, Ant. We saw the late substitution of Chiesa, and I love the player. But I see why we have a problem with him as well, because it was kind of late in the game. I think we barely started at a time. And there's a high ball, and there's a Burnley player trying to head out, and you see Chiesa looking and then jumping willfully in the back of him. It doesn't hit him that hard, but he goes. I mean, you know it's going to be a free kick, and you can't do that when let him get the ball out and win the second ball instead of making a free kick. Then you get the cramp, and then you get the time wasting and blah 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 blah. That is an issue I have with him. He does these small, stupid Italian things, in my opinion. So I sort of see it. I see the intensity. I see the passion. I see the will and wanting to do good. But he there's something mentally that is not quite there. And your thoughts about the second half?
I mean, going back to what you just said about Chiesa, I literally shouted at my TV. I'm on my own watching it, so I wasn't talking to anyone. I shouted to my TV and said, "What are you doing?" It's like the 90 something minute. We're firing shots at them. We're heavy on them. So it's not like we're having to counter attack. We're in their half, and he's getting behind someone as they're jumping to get the ball. And and when you watch the replay, he looks at them before he gets behind them, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
he doesn't look at the ball at all.
No, and the referee's right there watching him, so it's not like he can hide it. So I just don't get what he's doing. Like, don't get me wrong. I love the player. I love him. It's like how everybody was with Nunes. That's how I am with him. No matter how bad he plays, no matter how much he plays, he's just got that characteristic about him that you can't hate, or that you can't hate. And it's just that frustrates me because you're not gonna prove your point or prove your worth if you're doing things like that. And you can't expect your fans to keep battling for your place if you're gonna start playing like that and start making choices like that, because it doesn't work. That's not how how it should work, and that did frustrate me. The rest of the second half, I just gave up watching. Not gave up watching, but I just gave up getting frustrated by everything, because there were times where we were still on the attack and we were still giving them shots, but then there was times where it was like silly little chances that are giving them the ball for them to then come and attack against us. And you know what we're like when we have to defend, we can't do it properly for some reason. We just can't do it. And we rely on misfired shots, because that's what we do. We jockey them, and then we wait for them to shoot, then do the counter attack instead of jockey them and then go in for the ball. It's silly. It's little basic things that we're just not doing.
One of the things I also felt like I noticed is that in the second half, I think in the first half we had more players in the box. We were not only one, but in the second half we fell back to what we usually do. And then suddenly I see Gakpo running all over the place. Ekitike is nowhere in the box. He's outside doing the link up again. So that means we don't have two players to get the crosses in as well. So I don't see a way out of this. Jackson, welcome. You were a little bit late on today, but better late than never.
Yeah, to be honest, I wish I didn't show up at all.
Ray Stubbs is late.
I think this could have been the shortest stream ever. Everybody come on, hey, we're shit, bye bye, and then leave again, because that's what we talked about.
We're shit. It's over for us. See you later.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about the game today? If you can break it down in the first half and second half, we've kind of said the first half was one of the better ones we had against the low block, the team so far this season. But again, second half is kind of like going back to the old misses and doing the same errors again. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I'm really quite down in the mouth about it. I was expecting not necessarily a convincing win, but just a win because of what we're playing poor opposition. I thought it would be like the game against Barnsley in the FA Cup. We'll just get goals because we're not playing against a very good team. So my mind's kind of all over the place at the moment. It's all a bit of a blur. But yeah, as you said, first half that was pretty good. It was sound. Got the goal, really well taken by Florian Wirtz. But yeah, obviously Dominic Szoboszlai missing that penalty, not ideal, but that can happen in a game. And if you're going to miss a penalty in a game, you'd rather it be against a team like Burnley rather than like your Man Cities or Man Uniteds or in a Champions League game. So you don't really want to pin it too much on Szoboszlai, who has had a bad couple of games, even though he's been our best player of the season by a mile. And then, the second half, it was just more sloppy defending, which we've seen quite a few times this season for the Burnley goal. And it just felt like they were running out of ideas in the second half. It was, I was pretty adamant before today that we'd get top four because we simply have too much quality in the squad. But now I'm like, we don't even deserve it. You do not deserve to play Champions League football if you can't beat Burnley at home. So I like to think of myself as quite a positive Liverpool fan, but right now you're catching me at one of my lowest ebbs.
Okay, so I've got a question then.
All right.
Okay, so if we can take a straw poll out of the five of us now what are here, just going off what Jackson said, and I agree with him 100%, out of the five of us what are here now, how many of you think that Arne Slot should be dismissed?
I'm staying off of it. I'm not getting involved.
I'm not there yet. Early this week, I was like, obviously because Xabi Alonso lost his job at Real Madrid, and that fueled more speculation that he'll become Liverpool's next manager. But I was like, no, I'm a long way off that, because I was thinking, even though there have been some bad results, Arne Slot has done very well at making us hard to beat. I know
We have 6 draws in the last 10 games.
We've drawn the last 4 games.
It's a bad unbeaten run. But I'm of the view that, especially at Liverpool, I know he's the head coach, but at Liverpool, you stick with a manager until the bitter end. I don't think we're quite at the bitter end with him. Obviously, he did win the league, so I think that does buy him a bit more time than some of his predecessors got. So, I'm not there with Arne Slot out yet, but maybe just a tiny part of me thinks maybe he won't pull this back.
Now, I think that I'm going to get to Ben in just a minute because I know his answer anyway. But I think I'm not usually a manager out kind of person myself, but when we've played like shit since day one, we got some lucky wins there in the start, but we didn't play well then either. So when there has been no progress and no development in 4 months, if there had been some progression or something, I would have no issue to have him until the end of the season. And that is, I think he has to go because there has been no improvement at all. And that's whether Alonso was available or not. We've talked about this, and Ben had my wet dream when it came to Gerrard and maybe Torres being the interim. So I'm Slot out now. And for me, it is a crime if they have taken the decision to sack him in the summer, but keeping him just for some stupid reason. Ben, your thoughts on it?
I've been Slot out since October.
I thought you were Slot out since he came.
No.
As soon as he found out he was Dutch.
Yeah.
In my defence, I was one of the few people that backed the appointment, and I said that he would prove a lot of people wrong. He did prove me wrong.
So we didn't prove a lot of people who proved you wrong.
But he proved all his defenders wrong again. Yeah,
This is exactly why I'm staying on to me.
Well, the thing is, I agree with what you've all said, but after today's game, my worry is, and just going back to what Jackson said about we don't deserve top 4, we don't deserve Champions League football next season. My concern now is, after watching us today, we play Marseille midweek, and I'm really concerned for that game, because you've got to finish in the top 8 at least. You don't want to go into a playoff to qualify for the last 8, because if we did, I wouldn't be absolutely convinced we'd win the playoff.
We came first last season and drew PSG. I don't care what we finish, just qualify, just get to the knockouts.
But if you'd have seen that performance today, Ben, you wouldn't be confident going into the Marseille game in midweek.
I've not been confident going.
But I'm not letting Ant get off the hook that easily. He has to come.
Oh, he's wriggling, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he's sitting there.
I refuse to give an answer because I'm on the fence with it.
Yeah, the thing is, that is the view. If you're on the fence, that is the view.
Yeah, okay, then I'm on the fence. That's it.
Why?
You get splinters.
Why are you on the fence?
So I am out because of the form, but I'm in because there's other reasons. And I say there's other reasons. There's other reasons why I'm in, because who are you going to bring in that's going to turn things around so soon? Who are you going to bring in that's available? That's good enough that's available. And also, you got to look at all the stuff that he's going to take with him or that we're going to get rid with him that we need to bring in as well. Who are we going to bring in there? Like, there's fact. Yeah, it's all right, well and good being like, okay, you're out, let's bring you in. But then it's difficult to explain because you can't bring someone in and go, all right, turn it around. Whilst there's this many games left.
I would like Jackson says, we don't deserve to play Champions League. And I agree. But I would rather do a change and miss Champions League because then we've tried something instead of just trotting along.
So you'd rather him focus on the league?
Yeah, I've said that in months. I've said I don't give a shit about the other tournaments
But
because
here's a question for that. Who would you bring in, though? Who could turn it around that is available?
Well, Alonso is now available.
Can he turn it around?
We had this discussion, and Ben mentioned Xavi is available as well. And he mentioned, I kind of said Gerrard because not that Gerrard is the best manager in the world. But
don't say that around Aldo.
No, but I don't care about Aldo, so that's okay. but my point is, every man for the right time, the right man for the right time, and we are talking interim here. We're not talking about the next manager of Liverpool.
Okay.
We're talking interim.
Just to finish the season off.
Exactly.
We're not Manchester United. Let me just say that.
We are more Manchester United than we like to think when we see how the club is run.
So Steven Gerrard, great player, but he's like Roy Keane, a shit manager, and I'll leave it there.
I'll just going to put you on mute now, Aldo, if you don't keep your trap shut.
And I'm the one who said I wasn't getting involved, and you're getting put on mute. No, but Ben had something to say.
But my thought is, we're just talking interim, and as I said, I would rather us try something for the remainder of the season.
Oh yeah, I get that. I completely get that.
I mean, if you bring Alonso when it's not going to be on an interim basis.
No, but that
definitely not.
No, I agree to that one, but we had this discussion before he was available.
But I do agree on the pretense that at least make a change, because if we're going to be awful, I'd rather be entertain me, play some youth players, play some good football, Gerrard, bring some passion. Gerrard, I don't want to sit here for another 4 months as a Liverpool fan and watch that, because that's boring.
And that's my what kind of my point is that we have to try something, because then we have at least tried to get top 4. Now we're just trotting along. Jackson, what do you think when we've said all these good arguments from my side and all the stupid one from Ant and Aldo?
I mean, that point that Ben just raised, I'd rather be entertaining and awful than not entertaining and awful. That's quite interesting. I don't know. Like as I said, I'm not at that point where I think Arne Slot should go, and also it's a valid point that's been raised. If we were to get Xabi Alonso, who is kind of a proven manager, we would not be getting him until the summer. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm struggling to sort of think what I think. I'm still willing to stick with Arne Slot. I mean, we talk about the Champions League against Marseille. I'm more worried about the Carabao game at Anfield the week after next, because I think when we play away at Marseille, there'll be more of an onus on them to actually try and score a goal and not play a low block as much. I think we're all right against teams that don't play a low block. That's our real Achilles heel this season, despite investing quite a lot in our creativity and Florian Wirtz. So, and also it would be better to finish in the top 8 in the Champions League, because then there are fewer games for Liverpool to play.
Take the United theory then, just get out and knocked out and play as few games as possible. but although
that means we don't have to play a playoff round.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I don't want to become like Man United and just get Gerrard in or whatever. I know United got a really good win today, but I'm not going to say it's a fluke, but there was always going to be a lot of adrenaline in that game for Manchester United. So I think we can take it with a pinch of salt, even though I didn't see any of the game against Manchester City, but it feels like they were very deserving of the win and were all over Man City.
But Craig, what do you think? Do you think whether or not the club has decided to what they're going to do? Do you want him to sit until the summer, or if you could decide, would you have tried a change now? And as I said, an interim player, an interim manager. I don't care if you don't agree with my choice, but would you have made a change to try something at least?
No, what I'm saying is, and I'm not going to let my heart rule my head here, because It's very easy to let that happen, and I'm not sure whether you guys would agree with that or sentiment or not. But you can let your heart rule your head and you become blinkered. But taking 10 paces back and looking at the bigger picture, I think looking at it from a player's perspective, the lads need a different voice in the dressing room, because whatever he's saying, it simply isn't working now. We've got 5 months left, and as Jackson's just said, we're on a sinking ship here, and we're fighting for top four. And I honestly don't think Arne Slot's going to get us top four. So I would, and the thing is, if he was I've thought about this over the last 2 days. If he was the right man for Liverpool, why have they only give him an 18-month contract? And for my answer is because the man who they wanted turned them down and decided to stay in Germany for a year. Then he went to Spain. Now he's available again. So if I was the top brass at Liverpool, I would now make the change. I'd bring Alonso in. I'd bring Steven Gerrard in as his number 2. Right? No, I wouldn't put Gerrard in charge. I'd make Gerrard his number 2. Right? So I'd make the change now. You'd have 2 guys there who play in midfield, who have passion, who knows what it means to wear that shirt. You'd get a different voice. You'd get a different style of football, because the football we're playing is Eredivisie style football. It's what you see at Feyenoord and Ajax. It's slow, it's dull, it's boring. So that's what I would do. If you want top 4 football, if you want Champions League football, you've got to make the change. But if you don't want Champions League football, stick with Arne Slot, because you're not going to get it from what I'm watching.
And that's what I kind of conclude with as well. I think we have to make a change to try and get top 4. I don't think we're going to get it the way we are now. And that kind of brings me over to the next topic of today. Because Guehi is now on the way to Man City. Fantastic. And yeah, that's outstanding. Now, usually we all know that they probably, or the rumors are that there is there is a rumor out that he's going to get £1,000 a week, and Liverpool could never pay that anyway. But what I kind of react to is that Slot sits there in a press conference and says everybody at the club is aligned. That if an option opens and blah, 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 and if we find the right player at the right price and blah, blah, blah. All that stupid talk we hear every time. Now, this is a player that was 5 minutes away from kind of had signed for us. He was 5 minutes away from being a Liverpool player 6 months ago. That means he was the right player 6 months ago. Now, City get injuries and makes a go for a player to replace that injury. Now, suddenly, they are looking for the right player or the right price. And the right player for 6 months ago is now not the right player for the right price. And I find this, what the fuck are you thinking? I mean, I just don't understand how this club is being run when it comes to, you see the shit show we are in, and the injuries we have Cinderella at right back, who's going to play 2 minutes later on and get injured again, and you see the situation. And for 6 months ago, we found out that Guehi was the next player for Liverpool, but now he's not. And whether you believe in Slot or not, they should go for the right player because they have decided that's the right player. And what are your thoughts about this situation with Guehi and the way we have conducted ourselves in this transfer window?
I mean, I seen something on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't give a shit. I seen it on that if we really wanted him, we would have got him. But that's the thing. We did want him. We went for him, and we were cockblocked by Glasner. We were fully cockblocked by him because he said, if he goes,
Park, if you sell him,
yeah, if he goes, I'm gone. and they were like, all right, okay, let's keep him. And it was just, I get the fact that City have got there first. They've offered a lot more than what we could offer him in terms of wages. But it's just, at what point were we actually going to make that move again? Because if he hadn't gone to City now, he'd have gone in the summer if we didn't make a move like we already haven't made a move. That makes sense. So no matter what, if we don't make a move in this transfer window, he was going to City because they'd pounce first, they'd offer him the most. But because we've left it for too long, they've then decided, well, okay, we'll just put a bid in now because we can offer less now that he's running down his contract.
But since he kind of accepted everything in the summer, I think we would have been in the forefront anyhow if we had shown real interest. One thing is if we lose out on the salary, but I think we should have kept that fire warm all through the winter. And
yeah, we should have kept talks going.
Yeah.
But we didn't. We just sat back and watched it.
Exactly. And what are your thoughts, Ben? Do you think we've just been whether or not you think he's the right player? He was still 2 minutes away from signing from us, and if the club decides that he's the right player, they should have done something, don't you think? Or you think the club is doing good?
When we nearly signed him, he signed on our terms last summer, which would have been a reasonable wage and no signing-on fee, probably no agent commissions. When you see the rumours about his wage at City, he's obviously earning a lot more than he would if he joined us. So
you think it's just money-wise?
I think it was very pushed on by money because just 3 days ago, Fabrizio Romano was saying that it was likely he was going to turn down all approaches for Liverpool, and a couple of days later, it's he wants to join City. No, pal, you've been bribed, and and then when you say like, we didn't keep talks going, which we should have. Maybe he made demands that we didn't like, knowing he could make that demand because he had the leverage.
Okay.
I'm not really fussed that we ain't got Guehi though. And I've been saying this for a while. He's my plan C at this point.
Yeah. Okay, Jackson. What do you think? You think this?
I mean, I was pretty gutted to see that news about Marc Guehi. I think he's a really good player, and he would have been an ideal long-term replacement for Virgil van Dijk. So, yeah, it's a real pity that fell through. It's a bit of an oversight by the people that run the club. I think, looking back, obviously it was deadline day when it looked like he was going to come to Liverpool, but then Oliver Glasner just threw that ultimatum at the Crystal Palace owner, and then as a result, Guehi stayed at the club. What Liverpool probably could have done maybe about a week before deadline day, or maybe even sooner, they could have just put in their bid. Instead, they went for the strategy of waiting until the last moment to play on the desperation of Steve Parish. It looked like it worked, but then Glasner, as Ant said, cock-blocked that move. So it's a bit annoying that happened, but I thought, it doesn't matter, we'll just get him on a free. But then, as Ant said, we just sat on our hands a bit, and then Man City sensed an opportunity, came in and offered more money. I mean, Marc Guehi, I can see why he's chosen to move to Manchester City. He doesn't have any kind of affiliation with Liverpool, and if they're offering him more money and it looks like they've got a brighter immediate future than us, it's a pretty understandable move for him to make, unless Pep Guardiola leaves in the summer, but maybe he'll stay on for a little bit. So, yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with Liverpool for that oversight. I guess they were just trying to penny pinch a little bit, considering they dropped a lot of money earlier on in the summer. They thought, we could maybe get this guy slightly on the cheap, but it was a risky strategy which has backfired.
And that's kind of what I kind of talked about before you came on also, is that we are reactionary. We don't dictate anything. City got an injury and then we go for him. We just we have to wait and think about it and process and discuss, and it's like we we don't do anything. Okay, we have a problem. We need to fix it. We have a problem. Shit, let's see if it sorts itself out. And that is kind of I think is the reason why we let this one slip. Because when City came with their money, we couldn't have a chance. We should have been there earlier.
Don't forget though, before I know you go on over to Craig, but in the summer when we were talking about how it was close to done, I do think the deal still goes through regardless of Glasner's ultimatum in the summer. The main problem there was the guy who makes the decision. On deadline day at 4 p.m. he was in a Pilates class with his phone on silent. So what can we do? We're belling him there, like, oh, can you accept our offer, please? And he's doing Pilates in a gym.
No, we didn't do anything wrong in the summer. We've done something wrong in the January window.
I wasn't saying we did anything wrong. I was saying Parrish is an idiot for scheduling a Pilates class on deadline day.
Yeah. A man scheduling a Pilates class anyhow is a red flag, in my opinion. But Craig, what do you think about what this has gone down with Guehi?
Well, I've listened to what all of you have said, and I've come to the conclusion that irrespective of what Mr. Parrish and Mr. Glasner decided to do at the end of the transfer window, we were never signing Marc Guehi, never. And in 9 years since 2017, we've only signed 6 centre-halves. 3 of them are no longer at the club. So, now the thing is, you can call it penny pinching or whatever you want, and he's on 300 grand a week at City now. So his 5-year contract comes to £78 million. Congratulations, Marc Guehi. You're a wealthy young man. But the thing is, if Virgil van Dijk gets injured now, Liverpool are up shit creek. And the thing is, it's like I said on the chat, yesterday? Where are you going to find a 20-year-old? Where are you going to find an international who plays for your country, right, for £20 million? No, you're not. No. It's going to cost Liverpool at least 80 million now for a quality centre-back.
And we're not going to pay that. And the point is, we let Guehi slip through our fingers for whatever reason we have. But we signed 3 centre-backs for the under-21 team.
Yeah, but when we came on before we came on stream, I said to you and Ant, I read something yesterday that Marc Guehi's agent contacted Liverpool because they were still interested. And Marc Guehi's agent asked Liverpool Football Club, will Arne Slot still be the manager in the summer? And the only reply the agent got back was no comment. So that was the end of Marc Guehi coming to Liverpool. End of story. Simple as that. Because he wants to know who his manager's going to be, and Liverpool wouldn't confirm it. So there's your answer.
Then lie, for fuck's sake.
Well,
if Guehi signs the contract, I mean, okay, there's been a change of managers. Shit happens. There's no guarantee that Pep's going to continue next season either.
I do disagree on the fact that a top quality centre back would cost 80 million. You could go and get Jeremy Chiquette or Joel O'Donnell for just under 60 million.
Yeah, but if you want a real solid Dutch one, you have to pay 80.
Yeah, no.
I've told you all along who Liverpool should go and sign, but you don't believe me.
I forgot who was it?
Nico Slotterbeck.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I like him. He's a good player.
He's better than Marc Guehi.
Yeah.
But he's also regular, so he's going to cost a lot of money as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we can't go in for Marc Guehi, we're not going for him.
Well, at least not in the January window, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Can any of you name the 6 centre-halves what we've signed since 2017?
No.
Van Dijk, Pinardo, Sepp Vandenberg.
Yeah.
Leone.
Kabak.
Yeah.
Leone.
Yeah.
Who?
Ben
Kabak.
Davis.
Yep, that's all 6. And how
Ben Davis, I forgot him.
And how many are not there now?
Hang on. Ben, say that one again.
Was Ben Davis ever there? I think he was just thinking
but we signed him though. It's like Artemelo. We signed
I
him,
never saw
was
him.
He ever there?
He might be a hologram.
I think he went in, signed the contract, saw the locker room, and then went.
Easy money.
Ben Davis' most iconic moment in the Liverpool show was deleting a tweet saying he hates Scousers.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But now we all know. I mean, I think we dropped the ball when it comes to Guehi. I mean, we could have survived if Leone didn't get injured for the rest of the season earlier on in the season. But when things happened the way they did in the summer, and it was not our fault that Guehi didn't come. But okay, let's move on, and then we'll get him in the January window. And it must have been. And this is what I kind of talked about. I think the way we run this club is more and more like United. We have a head coach, not a manager. The reason why they give him a short first contract is because if things don't work out, they're not going to pay him 200 million to get him, I think that is a sound advice for a so-called unproven manager. If we get a Xavi or Enrique or anything like that, it has to be a longer-term contract if they're going to sign. But my point is that
you say we're going more and more like United. If we were doing that, we would have went and bought Guehi. We would have matched City's wage demand, City's wage offer. That's what United would have done in this situation. We haven't. That's what separates us from United. We're calculated. We're smarter. United would have just gone, oh, here, okay, here's instead. Actually, City gave me 300,000. Here's 350,000 pounds. Come on.
I'm not specifically talking about transfers, because there we are way better than them. I still don't understand why he was the right person 6 months ago and not the right person now when January 1st came along. For me, that's something stupid. We should have done this deal before City got an injury and came with £300,000 a week. That's my point. But the way we are run when it comes to the administrative part of it, we have a head coach, not a manager. The power is in Hughes and Edwards. They say they should be a support unit for the coach or manager, not the other way around. And maybe I'm way out of here. I don't think so. But Jackson, what do you think? Do you think? What do you think? Do you think we're doing it every way the right way, or do you think it's concerning?
Yeah, I mean, just going back to that point about Slot saying we're all aligned with regards like transfers and everything. I'm sure internally at Liverpool there's going to be a bit of a sort of inquest into how the Guehi deal kind of slipped through their fingers. I think Slot is just making those comments just to kind of save face for himself and for the club. I'm sure he's absolutely furious that that deal has not happened for Liverpool. Yeah, we did kind of touch on this last Friday about the way we're run. Like Ben says, I think we would have just paid Marc Guehi whatever to try and outbid City in terms of the wages that we would have offered Guehi if we were like Manchester United, but we kind of stuck to our principles in that sense and did not match 300k a week, because I think that would have been just a bit too much to pay him, but City did pay for that. So it's very easy to kind of say at this point, oh, we're run really, really badly after a rough couple of days. But a few months ago, we were like jumping for joy at the way the club was being run, because we were just putting down the money with everyone and spending on Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak. Well, Wirtz is now starting to play well. Isak has just had lots of injuries, so it's not been a good signing so far. But I've still got the faith in the likes of Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards. Especially Michael Edwards, because he was at the club before and was so successful. So I'm not worried yet, but I'd say I'm a bit more concerned about how the team's playing under Arne Slot. But I'm still not Slot out.
Craig, what are your thoughts about it? You just
what are
have to
my
destroy
thoughts?
everything now, don't you?
I just what are my thoughts? I'm frustrated with Richard Hughes, and I'm frustrated with Michael Edwards because I think why put all that groundwork in for a centre back in the summer, and then suddenly become inept at doing your job? I honestly think that we were never going to sign Semenyo anyhow, so I wasn't worried about that. I wasn't convinced Guehi was coming. And I still think that these two gentlemen who we're talking about now, Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, I think they've already set the wheels in motion for a very big summer, which will involve a new manager and his backroom staff. And it will be plan B. It will be part two of a 3-part squad transformation. We'll not spend 400 million again, that's for sure, but they will bring quality in where it's needed. Because I can see 2 players, and I can name them if you want. I can see them leaving in the summer. Federico Chiesa, he'll go back to Italy, and Andy Robertson. I've got sources in Scotland. I've heard on the grapevine that he's going to go to Glasgow Celtic, and that wouldn't surprise me one bit. I can't see him extending his contract at Liverpool because, like he said this week, if you sat on the bench and you're happy, then you shouldn't be at Liverpool Football Club. And I think Robbo's game time's going to get less and less. So I'm just disappointed how we're acting at the minute. We're looking a bit stupid. We've got egg on our faces now, but come the summer, let's see what bulbs they've planted and what springs up.
I reckon it's possible that the club have already communicated with someone like an Alonso, because he was our primary target before Slot. Like right now, Edwards or Hughes could be on the phone to him saying, "Oh, what do you want to do then? Did you want Guehi? Because if you do, we will prevent City from signing him." Like,
but again, I'm not. I also believe that this summer was the first step in a rebuild. It's going to take 1 or 2 more steps. So I'm not really talking about the transfers, even though I feel they dropped the ball on Guehi. But my point is the way that we are too reactionary. I mean, let's say that we have a club that decided to fire the manager in the summer. Well, there's your first fault there. If you have decided that he's not the right man, bye-bye. I mean, that's like United did when with Ten Hag. Well, you're leaving in the summer. Oh shit, you won the FA Cup. Well, here's a new contract, and then 3 months later he's gone. I mean, that's what I'm kind of talking about. That we have directors and sporting people who's sitting there and making decisions, and then if they have made a decision that this is not the right man, get him out. If they haven't made a decision, okay, that's another thing. But I feel that they are again reactionary, not proactive. They're not in front of things. And but again, Ant, do you have any thoughts on this?
Not really, because a lot's been said, to be honest, considering both sides anyway. It is. I do agree with the fact that we should react a lot quicker on these sort of things, like you said. If we don't think he's the right man, get rid of him. But there's obviously something there that they still believe in, and it's whether we find out what it is that they actually still believe in, or whether we find out, is there something that's going to change with him, and we find a positive. But other than that, it is just a touch and go with it, because we're back and forth with things. We don't react on players that we want. We wait for the last minute. Like I've already said, we sit there and wait until the last minute before we decide, yeah, let's go for him. We've done that in the summer with Guehi, and then look what happened now. He's gone.
But I have to ask, because I don't remember, when did Leone get injured?
Was it in a Carabao Cup game or the FA Cup
Yeah, it's
game?
Southampton, so September, yeah. A few weeks on deadline day.
Exactly. And here's my point. They know he's going to be out for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if our plan was to rebuild and bring in a player for Konato who looked like he was on his way out, that's probably why we went for Guehi, right? Now, if we knew that, okay, this is an department we have to do changes in the next summer. So we have these names on our block. It's Slotterbeck or Guehi or whoever it is. They have a short list, right? Mm-hmm. They have decided this is a short list that we want when the next summer window comes in. Now, things change, and then Leone gets injured pretty early. That means, okay, we have this short list of players that we find is a good fit for Liverpool. Why not start in September to talk about one of the players and see the options to get him in the January window 6 months earlier than we have expected? That's what I'm called reacting to a situation. Mm-hmm. Now, if we have decided that Guehi or Slotterbeck or my grandma is the right player for the club, the point is, if we have decided that we're going to buy this player in the summer, why not lay the groundwork 4 months in advance? Work with the opponent club, work with the players, work with his agents to get him in January instead.
Your grandma passes the ball better than Konato.
Sorry?
Your grandma passes the ball better than Konato. Sign her up.
No, but the point is, you could have done a lot of groundwork here in without looking desperate. You know what I mean?
Get it on a job seeker's way.
I see a few worrying things. That's the only thing I see, and maybe I'm the only one. But
well, my question is then. Just
last one of the day, Craig.
My question is, if Ernie Slott's the man, right? If Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards feel that Ernie Slott's the right man for the job, then why did Richard Hughes block Eitinger's return to the AXA if he's the right man?
That's because they want to save money on firing the second man in charge now. I mean, his assistant now.
Answers your question then, doesn't it? Slott's not
and that's man. That is what I'm talking about, is the strange decisions we're making. That the point is the head coach or manager isn't in charge. There's someone over him says, fuck off. There's someone.
Yeah, somebody's having a private conversation here, aren't they?
Yeah, it's Ben being a smart ass as always.
It's Euro trash again, isn't it?
Yeah, they said my mom should be in the over 80s team squad and the future captain of the club.
So, like I said, future captain.
Future captain.
10-day contract.
But I think at least I'm glad it's not a work day tomorrow, at least for me, because I have one day to calm down before I face my co-workers and not punch them in the mouth when they come at me with, oh, United won in Liverpool soccer. So
do it anyway.
Yeah, but I need a job, so I'm too old to go to prison.
Yeah, you never know. There might be one going at Liverpool soon.
Yeah, but when you present life imprisonment to people like Craig and me, it's not that long a stretch.
Yeah, but I can correct you there, because in Norway the maximum sentence you get is 20 years max.
You get 30 years of containment.
You get 20 years maximum.
You can get 30. We have one.
Listen, I've watched it, mate. I've seen your prisons in Norway. They're like 5-star hotels.
They are 5-star hotels, and we don't have 20 years prison. We don't have 20 years.
20 years.
Oh man! How was this evolved into this?
Yeah. Look here, Craig. We don't have 20 years prison sentence. We have up to 30 years, which is the strongest thing, and that is 30 years where you are not in prison, but you are in kind of a care where you get, not a loon house, but You're not in ordinary prison. You're somewhere else, because then you get mental help and stupid people. So, but
So are you on day release then?
when you are in prison, you can get released. But if you are in, I don't know the English word, but if you are committed to,
Parole.
we have
It's
one.
called parole, mate. Parole.
No, yeah, but we have one now that got on 30 years sentence for terror.
Shall we
terrorism.
wrap up, because we're going on a really
let
big
me
contingent.
finish. He got 30 years, and then he got it for terrorism. When you get that sentence, you don't have a chance of parole, like you have in jail. Now, ending on that sporty note, I think I just lost my place here. A fucking Scouse is going to tell me how the judicial system in Norway works. That doesn't work.
I was going to turn around and say you can't argue with a Norwegian about their law.
Yeah, and you can't.
Here we are.
Yeah,
We did.
But let's. We have a week coming up with a game again. Who was it again?
Marseille.
Marseille, yeah.
Hopefully Kirkes does Greenwood's ACL.
Shit, he plays some, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's not Dutch. You can't say that to him.
But he's an abuser, so I will say that about it.
I think he had a good game now, at least the first half, I think. But I have to say goodbye to Ant, Craig, Ben, and Jackson for tonight. We kind of fucked up again, Liverpool. We'll see what the week brings, and thank you for joining. I hope you can join on again sometime during the next week as well. It's always a pleasure. So from me and all the guys here, to everybody, bye-bye.